Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast, where we discuss what's happening in the cryptosphere and trading on earth as it is in heaven. Buckle up and huddle on while we dive in and get weird. Here are your hosts, Joshua and Kimb.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Market Mystics episode.
Hey, everybody.
Today, we're going to address some of the exchanges and different platforms, wallets, DeFi things that we have used, and just kind of give you guys, just let you know what's out there for U.S. citizens, what may be available, some of why we like them, why we don't like them, and just kind of just try to give you guys a little bit of information.
True. And give you a good maybe view into what we personally use. Like this is, okay, listen, I know we're big time and stuff, but we don't have any paid advertisements. So we're not advertising for anyone. This is just real life, what we use and what we have used in the past. So we want to just kind of put that out there and maybe give you a step in the right direction if you're looking for another exchange to use, a way to do DeFi, or even just some way to get started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So first, we just kind of wanted to touch on what the market is doing. So today's been a little bit of a selling day, I would say, and maybe even started yesterday a bit. But Bitcoin is sitting down 3.2%, Ethereum's down 5.7%, both those over the 24-hour mark. And I always like to point out coins that are not following the major trend. So there's a coin out there called Waves, and it is up 17.3% in 24 hours. So just like to point out that while everything's going down, there's always something that's not following along. So if you have your eyes and ears tuned, you can usually find opportunities somewhere within the crypto markets.
So true. And I just have to say about this coin, I know nothing about it except that it's the number 48 coin in market cap. But just at first glance, it's over 100% up from 30 days ago. I don't know what's behind it. I don't know what's powering it. I don't know what technology it's using, but it's something, I guess, if you're wanting to see something that is going counter to trend, this might be something to look at. I don't know.
Yeah. It certainly has some momentum behind it. Honestly, like looking at its chart for quite a while, it's been moving pretty decent.
And it's the number 48, and I honestly know nothing about it. I've said this before. I try to kind of keep an eye on what's in the top 50 at least. Things have been moving so quickly lately that I just don't even know. There's a coin that I've always liked, Basic Attention coin. It's connected to the Brave browser, which again, this is just a plug, not paid. I love the Brave browser.
Yes. You all should be using the Brave browser.
It does so many ad blockers and tracker blockers, and you can actually search privately, and it's not sharing your information. I love it. I just got my dad switched over to it.
I just got my mom switched over to it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's built on Chromium, I believe is how you say it. So it functions and appears very similar to Google Chrome, except it's not owned by Google and it's not tracked by Google and it's not monitored by them. And so if you're looking for sort of a DeFi browser, then I would say that Brave is a great option. And they also have a built-in wallet. They have a native wallet, the Brave wallet, that you can have as just built in straight to your browser.
And you can earn crypto while Brave is blocking all of these ads and things.
You can get little tiny ads that pop up with Brave if you want to, but they actually pay you for that privilege
in the Basic Attention token.
Yeah. It's great.
It is great. And they just released their search engine also.
Hmm.
And I have been using it and I like it just as well as Google, which is kind of a big statement to
It
make.
is a big.
Um,
I- I've been using it for a little while, and I would say there's only been a couple times I've not been able to find exactly what I want. And typically that's when I'm searching for something that's location specific, but I
mm,
also have all of my location services turned off. And so I can't really expect it to have really great, if I search for restaurants near me, it's not going to give me where I live because it doesn't have access to where I live.
right.
And so my only complaint about it is something that I have changed in the settings.
That's so funny. And Brave doesn't read your mind like Google does
True.
because it doesn't listen to all of your conversations through your phone. Have you ever had the times where like you're talking about something completely obscure and then all of a sudden it shows up in all of these recommended things for you, whether on
Yeah,
Facebook or Google or TikTok or whatever? It's a bit creepy.
it is a bit creepy.
Yeah. So
Sometimes it's really on point though. And sometimes it's like, where did that come from?
I know my husband and I were talking about something. Oh, okay. This is very obscure, but we were talking about having like a skincare demo for all of the man friends in our lives, Josh being
Mhm.
one of those, and trying to come up with some clever name. And somehow the Sarah Palin quote about putting lipstick on a pig, I don't know the full quote, but that came up just in our conversation. We were sitting at the breakfast table talking about this over coffee. And then he went 5 minutes later, I get a screenshot from him. He was on TikTok and one of the hashtags, or I don't know, tags. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't actually know how all of this works.
Sure.
But one of the comments in one of the recommended videos was like hashtag lipstick on pigs or something. And this is not something we talk about. That's not normal vernacular
Mm,
for us. And we were both just like, wow, they really are always listening.
it's true. Yeah, definitely is. I told Kim the other day, but I sort of have an obsession with shoes. I love slippers and shoes and all sorts of stuff. And I made the mistake of clicking on one advertisement on my Facebook page that had shoes on it. And now I bet 8 out of 10 ads are for shoes. And it's really challenging because some of them are great. I'm like, man, they knew their market on this one because that's exactly what I would want to buy.
Oh, that's so funny. I did that recently. Apparently, this is just our casual chat. I did this recently I've been looking for like the perfect planner because I'm very
Mm.
much a planner person. I like to check the boxes. I like to have a schedule. I like to see what's coming down the pike. And I have not been able to find the perfect planner, just being honest. But I've clicked on some Instagram ads and now all of my ads are for planners, but I'm loving it because
Right.
Amazon just wasn't cutting it for me. I couldn't find what I wanted. And now I'm getting all of these others, little startup companies everywhere that have these great planners. And let's just hope I don't find 40 of the perfect one because I might buy 40 planners.
Well, at least in your case, planners are generally cheaper than shoes.
You'd be surprised.
I said generally.
I did just buy one. Okay. Just real life. I just bought one. I got it in today. And I'm also really cheap sometimes. I like to find a bargain. So I bought this one and it was like 30% of the normal price because it said it was imperfect. I got it. I don't know how it's imperfect. I'm sure I'll find a typo or something in it, but I appreciate that I can get it and try it for much less than normal price. So hook, line, sinker. They got me.
Perfect. Well, maybe let's go ahead and talk about exchanges, and then our ads will be based on crypto exchanges, and that won't be too bad either.
Maybe so. Actually, that's true because I also get those in Instagram.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Well, I'll just start it off. So I'll tell you guys the very first exchange I ever signed up for was crypto.com, which is
I'm
kind of
surprised.
wild. I
Yeah.
know, right? It's
Uh-huh.
not one that I use regularly. I think I had tried to sign up for like Binance US or Coinbase, and their KYC process was going to take a while. And so I just signed up for crypto.com because their KYC process was very, very fast. And so it's actually the first exchange that I ever did anything with. And I signed up for it and I didn't really use it a lot because at the time I was investing small amounts of money, like $50 here, $20 here, and their fees were not worth the hassle of, or it wasn't worth it to pay the fees that they were currently charging. But that was over a year ago at this point, and I can tell you that they have made leaps and bounds to improving their platform. So currently, only their app for your phone is allowed in the US. They're working on getting their whole browser exchange approved, but it's not quite here yet. But you can use the app. They have tons of coin options. I mean, there's dozens and dozens of options you can look for. They've recently added debit cards, which are, in my opinion, great. They're
Mhm.
metal, so they kind of feel cool. Um, but there's so many benefits to using it. Like I get 100% reimbursement for Spotify. If I did the next level up, I would also get 100% reimbursement for Netflix and Hulu. Like, I mean, there's all sorts of benefits that you can get for their cards. But also, if you have their cards, which you have to stake some of their native coin in order to get one of their debit cards. But if you do that, you also get access to great staking options
Mhm.
on all sorts of different coins. I mean, probably a dozen different coins that pay from a range of like 3 to 4%. I know like last time I looked, they're paying like 12 or 13% for stable coins. And that's pretty good. And it's connected to your debit card. So if you need to just spend that money, you just swap it right over to your debit card and boom, you have access to that money that you were just earning 12% on. I mean, it's basically like a checking account, except for significantly better.
Except you can actually earn
Yeah, you
on
can
it.
actually make some money. Yeah,
A real percentage, not a fraction of a percent.
right. Yeah, and
A
multiple real
percent is
percentages.
actually a fraction. So a fraction
Mm,
of a fraction, right?
right.
I like I like crypto.com. We've talked about them before with their marketing and how they've really amped that up and
Mm,
tried to make their name known. Um, but while they're doing that, I feel like just like what you were talking about, they've done a lot to improve their exchange while they're trying to draw people to it as well.
right.
The fees still get me sometimes. I'll be honest. I don't use crypto.com for everything. I hold certain coins there because there are certain coins that I can't get on some of the other bigger exchanges that are available to US citizens. Um, and so I do use it, but I kind of use it sparingly. When you first sign up, they, I don't know if it's for a month, if it's for 3 months, I don't recall because it's been long enough ago since I
Mhm.
signed up, but they waive fees for
It's
purchases
it's for 30
for
days.
30 days, which is really nice. So if you know what you want to buy and you want to buy it now, you have the funds for it. That's super helpful. The other thing about crypto.com, and they're making improvements, although it's not perfect, is you can connect your bank account through Plaid, which is what like every exchange uses,
Mhm.
every wallet is using Plaid to connect to bank accounts. Um, you can connect your bank account to import money, but when you take it out, it has not been so easy. They're making improvements, but after a year and a half of using this platform, it's a bit discouraging to not be able to take your money out as easily as you can put it in.
I will say, just yesterday, I opened the crypto.com app and I got an advertisement um, that linking bank accounts was um, linking bank accounts was now a new added feature. And so I don't know if that has been updated to where it is easier to pull it out now. Um,
A few weeks ago, I saw something similar. And so I kind of explored it. And from what I could tell, and they could have changed even further, what I could tell is if you transfer your crypto coins to fiat, then you can withdraw the fiat to your bank account, as opposed to a lot of places like Coinbase. I can go, oh, here's my Bitcoin. I want to withdraw it. It converts it to dollars and puts it in my bank account. So
mm,
it's like you have to do this step of transferring it to fiat and then making the withdrawal from fiat to the bank account. Does that kind of make sense? So instead of
yeah,
just saying, oh, I need to cash out this certain coin for this amount, um, you kind of have to do a bit of the legwork, but it's better. It's improved. I will say that's improved. And again, I see them constantly trying to upgrade and improve things. And that's always helpful, especially with some place where you're willing to put your funds, you know?
for
Yeah.
sure. That's a big deal. So what else we got? What was your first exchange?
My first exchange was Coinbase, and I've liked it okay. It has been, at least when I started, it was like the most readily available for US citizens.
Hmm.
I also tried to sign up for Binance and quickly found out that I could not. I have an account with Binance, like regular Binance. I just can't do anything because I'm a US citizen. So
Right,
I can log in and I can look at things, but I cannot transact.
right.
um,
Yeah, Coinbase, it definitely is readily available. It's if you search for crypto on your phone or whatever, you're gonna find them. And I think just by process of being maybe the first US place that they're just they're the top exchange that's available within the US.
Absolutely. They're in the top three exchanges in the world by market cap, although significantly less than the top two. Um, it is a fraction, like market cap, or trading volume, I should say. Trading volume with Coinbase compared to the top two in the world it's minuscule, and they're the number three in the world.
Mhm.
Um, so I will say this, I'm a little disappointed that we don't have access to some of these others. I understand it has to do with regulations. Um, but it would be nice to have open access to some of these exchanges that do turn the volume and thus have availability for a lot more coins than we might have access to. And that's my
Right.
biggest gripe with Coinbase is they just don't carry all the altcoins that I want. That's
It's
what
true.
drove me to crypto.com, is
Mhm.
because Coinbase didn't have certain coins that I wanted and crypto.com did.
Exactly. And for our listeners' benefit, we've probably between the two of us signed up for maybe 2 dozen different platforms just to find different coins that we wanted. And so there's we've tested them out, but what I can tell you is over the time we've been trading, Binance US has added lots of options. Crypto.com has added lots of options. And so you don't have to have as many exchanges as you once did.
This is true. And we're not there yet, but once you figure out DeFi, and if you want to go that route, that will open up a lot more coins to you than most exchanges will be able to.
For sure.
Yeah.
One of the other platforms that both of us have used a decent amount is called Anchor. Used to be Anchor USD, now it's just Anchor. And one of the things that drew us to that platform was originally they didn't have fees. They were trying to be very similar to Robinhood, where it was just very user friendly, simple buy sell buttons. I mean, there wasn't a seemingly complicated, order book. It was just here you click this, you buy it for this price, you sell it for this price, and they worked well with your bank. They paid 7.8% for holding US dollars just in a savings account. The only thing that I would say I really disliked about them was they had horrible record keeping. There was not a simple way to just look at what you had done. It was just all in one long list, and you had to scroll through it and keep track of it yourself every second.
Which is difficult because if you held any coins and activated the interest, and they still offer interest on a lot of coins. I still have availability for a lot of coins to be earning interest with them. So if you activate that, they were paying that out every day and you would see that in your transactions. But if you bought a coin a month ago and you hold 4 coins that collect interest, you have to scroll through a lot of data before you get to the actual transaction that you initiated to get trading information.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the hardest parts about using their platform. I can say they've had issues in the past. It seems like they're working on them, trying to get them figured out. But what I'm really looking to see how this plays out is someone I know who uses their platform got an email that said, "Hey, we're moving you over to our new style of account." And with that, we're now FDI insured, so there's a little bit more security with the money you're investing. We're getting rid of a couple features that we had, one of them being paying interest on crypto. But what I'm not sure is if they're still going to pay interest on US dollars because they
Mm.
were paying almost 8%, and that's great.
That's really great. I remember beginning of last year getting this exclusive offer from whatever bank. It was like they were paying 3.3% APY on a savings account, which was the highest I could find anywhere,
Right.
even in all of my Google searches when I was using Google. And that was remarkable. So going to Anchor and being able to just off the bat, no qualifications needed except you put the money there,
Mhm.
be able to earn almost 8% on just holding fiat was incredible.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see if that's a feature they retain or if that also goes away with some of their updates. Their platform is, like I said, sort of built to be very user friendly, very simple, and it does function like that. It's easy to send money to your friends, it's easy to buy and sell, it's easy to pull in and out of your bank. So, if they can get some of these things worked out, some of their kinks worked out, and still maintain some beneficial things, could be great. Could be a real solid option for people. I just am not sure how it's fully going to work out once they update all their users to their new account.
True. And I don't know, I'll say this in the beginning, Anchor USD was amazing because no fees. their KYC process was like a 5-minute process. So you fill
Mhm.
out your information, 5 minutes later, you got your approval, or that's how it worked with me and everyone I know who uses it. That was amazing. They had a decent selection of the top 25, 50 coins, and they were paying interest on a lot of those. And I mean, I moved some stuff from Coinbase that I had sitting there over to Anchor so that I could earn on these coins that I had just been holding. You
Mhm.
know, we've talked about I'm like an eternal holder. just I just am. And so it's goes back to this concept of, well, are you going to work for your money? Or are you going to have your money work for you? And I could move it and have it work even harder for me. But if they're taking that away and all of these coins are accessible on other exchanges that have other benefits, it's going to be tough to retain me as a customer, I'll be honest.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, the best place I've seen for earning interest is crypto.com.
Mm-hmm.
But,
They've upped their game.
everybody is always vying for that position. So who knows if they'll hold it out or not.
Mm-hmm. And it depends on the coin. I mean,
It
we've
does.
we've used other services as well that have outrageous returns on just holding coins.
Mm.
Um, but that is going away as well. So I this is one that we're not even going to talk about because I don't know how reliable or what a good idea it is to put that out there at this point because a lot of its processes are changing as well. This also seems to be a season for some of these exchanges that have been a bit more simplified
Mhm.
and have a lot of benefits that they're changing their ways, I suppose. It's almost like they have to fit into one mold or another and they're deciding on this mold. So they're
Right.
kind of going that way. And with Anchor being FDIC insured, I'm not so much for the central bank. So I also don't know that I want to be part of that, just to be
Sure.
honest.
Sure. All right. Well, the lonely stepbrother for the biggest account or biggest exchange in the world is Binance US. I would say that they are really the only similarity is licensing. Their websites look different, they function differently, they have different options for coins, they have different pricing structures. They sort of just license the name and maybe some of the back end technology of it. Um, and I really don't have many complaints about it. It's been a solid platform. Its KYC took a while. They don't have as many coins as I would like them to have, but they've been a solid option.
I love that you just slid that in there. Their KYC took a while. It took me a solid 9 months to get approved through with their KYC. And let me tell you, I'm not on any kind of crazy lists. My credit
Yeah.
score is fine. Like I'm not like some person of interest that I'm aware of. Um, and that was a long process. That was a really long process. And then for me, I'll just give you my side of things. They don't really offer anything that I can't get somewhere else.
Yes. That's
And
also
so
true.
after waiting that long, yeah, I kind of wasn't interested anymore. I got my approval and I was like, holy crap, I got it. And then I was like, well, I've already done all the trades I was wanting to do anyway. I found it elsewhere. So what's the point?
Not everybody I know has had that long of a KYC process. It took me 3 weeks. I know people who've gotten it in days though.
That's
So
crazy.
not everybody experiences the super long wait times, but you're right. Most like there's nothing that they offer that isn't available somewhere else. But I would say once I have started using it, it's been a relatively like it's fine. I don't really have any complaints about it. I don't really have any there's not anything glaring in it that's like, wow, this is amazing. I have to use it. It's just it's a solid platform. It's available and it's backed by the largest exchange in the world. So I would hope that to some extent that gives it a little bit of credibility.
You would hope so. I would hope so. Yes. So Binance, not bad, but it can take a while
Yeah.
and you might lose your interest.
Yes. This is true.
What? Oh, I want to talk about this one next. I'm going to have to say this one might be my favorite. Uphold. Um, we talked about this earlier, and the way that I found Uphold was through the Brave browser. I finally figured out that it had this wallet you could connect. And so I was like, you know what? I'm using this browser all the time anyway. It's on my phone, it's on my computer. I might as well be earning for this. So I clicked their thing and they recommended Uphold. So I signed up for it. Its KYC took 30 minutes. I mean, it was nothing like Binance. And so I got signed up with it just so that I could earn these coins just for using this browser, which I like to have money work for me. And that was why I got into it. However, I've come to really like Uphold. So it's a pretty simple platform to use. I feel like it's very user friendly. It's easy to transfer between people. It's easy to deposit money from either your bank account, because they use Plaid as well, or from other wallets or exchanges that you may have. But my very favorite thing about them is their newsletter.
They do have a really solid newsletter
It
if
sounds
it
crazy,
comes
but
through.
it's so good. And we've had some issues with like somehow we just don't get it anymore. And then we have to sign up for it again. Then we get it for a while and then we don't get it anymore and have to sign up again. But this newsletter is like my number one. This is the one I want to read because somebody on their staff has the inside track and has an ear to the spiritual things as well. I just have to say, because there have been numerous times that Josh and I have been praying about, pressing in, seeking the Lord, whatever you want to call it, about what's happening with cryptos and Bitcoin and Ethereum and a number of other coins. And we will experience something and the Lord will tell us something. And the next couple of days, this newsletter comes out and the same verbiage is used and the same concept is like what they're reporting about. It's like they know things.
Yeah.
And so
Someone
I
there is
appreciate
connected.
that a lot. And it's just a really great daily look at what's happening in the markets.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Uphold. It's not even about their platform. It's about their newsletter for me.
They also, one of the other benefits of their platform is they do have a few stocks. They have a few foreign currencies that you can also trade. So it's not just crypto, but I mean, you can also get those lots of other places. But if you're looking for oh, I don't want to say one stop shop because they don't have the most crypto coins,
No,
but they have the top ones. They have a few altcoins that you might be looking for, and they have access to other options. And I've been I've been pleased with their platform. They do have fees, but I don't think they're outrageous,
not
but
at all.
they're just pretty there's for us they've been a solid platform. Their customer service has generally been pretty good. We've had a few experiences where it's been a little bit slow or confusing just because it seems like maybe you get one person who reaches out and then you answer the question and then a different person reaches out and it's almost like they have no access to the what you just had the conversation about.
Mhm. It's like, yo, bro, check your Dropbox. It's there.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. Yeah. So I was yeah, they've been a great platform. Their newsletter has been phenomenal. So yeah, really enjoyed them. Really quickly, I want to touch on KuCoin, Bitmart, and Gate.io. If you've used any of these, they their platform looks very similar. Like the way it's set up, it's like
Mhm.
copy and paste with different colors. Like it's just it's how they seem to me. And I can tell you they typically have the most coins I've ever seen. Like the most trading pairs I've ever seen tend to be on some of those. And yeah, it's I've not used them a lot, but I have used them when I needed a particular coin that maybe I couldn't get somewhere else. And here's an example. Crypto.com has 283 trading pairs. They have 178 total different coins. KuCoin has 1,144 trading pairs.
Wow.
So that's
80% more.
yeah, five
Crazy.
times the options on KuCoin versus Crypto.com. So they certainly, I would say, I'm hesitant to dump a lot of money into those platforms. Some of those platforms have had the most popular or known about like hacks and people losing their money.
Right.
And so I'm hesitant to dump tons of money in there. But generally, they're solid platforms. I mean, KuCoin's the number 5 platform in general. So they're pretty solid. They have tons of options. I just don't have lots of experience with them because honestly, there's just platforms I trust more that have the other coins I need.
Yeah. Well, and with some of these, I've used all three of those. And with most of the things that I trade there, because I don't have the most confidence in their platform, not because they've proven to me not to, just there's something that makes me just a little uneasy about it.
Yeah.
So I may buy a coin and then transfer it to my external wallet and then hold
Mm.
the coins there instead of holding it on their exchange. Um, I know Bitmart had a big hack where a lot of coins went missing not too long ago. I think within the last 6 months.
Yeah, it wasn't very long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And I had already been using them for certain coins. And again, it just was a matter of going and getting the coins if I still wanted to hold them and moving them to a wallet. So there is a way to, if you're unsure about something, if you can make the transaction, you can hold your coin somewhere else
Mhm.
without having to hold it on any of these exchanges.
Right. One thing I will say is I've used gate.io a handful of times to get a brand new coin that, if you're using Binance US or Coinbase or even crypto.com, typically they do a pretty good job of vetting the coins before they
Mhm.
add them to their platform. So they have some history, they know that they're not a rug pull and they're a little bit slower to add them. So you're not going to get those ICO type coins where it's like, hey, it's a brand new coin, it just launched. You have no idea what it's going to be like because it's brand new, it's its first day. So I've used Gate a handful of times to get some of those coins. And I can tell you, Gate has 2,492 trading pairs. So
Wow.
1,200, almost double what KuCoin had in trading pairs. And it's because of that reason. It's actually they have almost 1,000 more than just Binance Global has. And so because of that, I've used them a few times to get those ICO coins. And sure, I mean, that's a gamble, but that is a platform that is available if you want to try to catch some of those like very first day coins.
Very true. And I'll also say the only reason I learned about some of these more obscure, like not top five, I guess, exchanges.
Hmm.
So the KuCoin and the Bitmart and the Gate.io and that kind of stuff is because I peruse CoinGecko. I've talked about this before. I love this app. And if I find a coin that I have looked into, I've done the research on, I'm wanting to get into it on CoinGecko, it's not an exchange. It just lists all these coins, but it has a place where it tells you what exchanges it is listed on.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times it's not on the major Coinbases, Binance, crypto.com, and it's on some of these others. And I honestly have to think that's why, like KuCoin, KuCoin is the number 5 exchange in the world in volume right this minute. And I have to think that it's because it carries so many of these other coins. And if people can find those coins there, they can trade on there, you know? And so I don't think it was that way a year ago. I remember you first trading on KuCoin. And I'm like, what? What is this obscure thing you are going to get so scammed? You didn't.
I
I
didn't.
was wrong, but it was obscure then. But it has the offerings. And so it's not the worst to do it, but you kind of need to do your own research again, right? Make sure you're confident in the whatever trade you're doing on whatever platform it is you're doing it on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just like we talk about with coins all the time, it's important to do your own research. Like figure out figure out what you're using, talk to other people, reach out to us. We'll talk to you about the different options, what may be good for you. Um, but I mean, ultimately, you're the one who has to make the decision. So, it's important to look at some of them. I wouldn't be too worried if you're using, the top few exchanges. They're going to be pretty solid generally. But, if you're looking for some obscure altcoin, you don't know how to find it, hey, that's what we're here for.
That's true. We'd be
Mm.
happy to help.
There are a few that are relatively well known, FTX and Kraken, for example, that they exist. I know they're reputable. I've just never used them, so I can't really speak to their efficacy, but I mean, they're in the top 10. Their FTX is advertising all the time.
Mhm.
FTX US, is pretty popular. I think they've sponsored the World Series, so they're they're also options. I've just not personally used them, so I can't really tell you whether or not they're great or not.
Same. I have, I don't even have FTX. I've not signed up for FTX, but FTX US is significantly has a significant lower volume. It's the number 41 exchange
Hmm,
and has 145 million in volume, whereas regular FTX has 1.8 billion.
massive difference.
Huge difference. So I haven't even looked at it. I don't know what coins they offer, but I also haven't had a reason to go to them because I have all of these others that I use that are listing the coins that I want.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I am with that. We signed up for Kraken probably a year ago
We got
and
approved, yeah,
we got approved. KYC was fine. We just never did anything with them. Just never happened. And honestly, I haven't gone back to them. Again, I don't have anything that I've not been able to find somewhere else. And at some point, I also am like, enough is enough. I don't need 42 different exchanges and their apps on my phone.
that's true. That's true. There, I get, to what you're saying, like all the coins that I want, I can get with the places I already am signed up for. So I've just not had the need to sign up.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So this brings us to DeFi platforms. This is a little different ball game. Do you want
It
to
is.
explain the difference?
The best, this is my favorite way to explain it. I look at the normal exchanges as being like a Walmart and Target. You're going to those places, you're buying a product from them. Whereas the DeFi platforms are more like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist,
Hmm.
where they're providing a platform for you to connect with other people who are selling and buying things. And so you connect an external wallet to them and you transact back and forth. That the DeFi platform will take a little fee for transact for hosting the process, but other than that, like they kind of stay out of it. And because you're only connecting your wallet to it. That's the only idea of who you are that they have. They don't have a KYC process. And so it's a little bit, um, it's obviously a little bit riskier, just like Facebook Marketplace is. You don't know necessarily who you're buying from, and you want to make sure that the token or coin you're buying is a legitimate one and not, just something someone made to make some money.
Hmm.
But in general, I've had pretty good experiences. I've used PancakeSwap a decent amount. I've used it. They have it's fairly simple. I've used it to transact peer to peer. I've also used it to stake their native token, and it's I have no complaints with it. It's been a solid platform. I've also used one called Trader Joe, and I used it specifically to get a one token that I wanted, and it it functioned very much the same. Honestly, they look very similar. They function very similar. It's just a different name, and so I got what I wanted from it. I didn't have any issues. I wasn't scammed, so I don't have any complaints about either of those. Some of the largest ones. The largest one is Uniswap. Um, and then Sushi Swap's also pretty high as well. And I've just not used either of those, sort of because I just didn't have a need. Like there wasn't anything that I was looking to buy that they had available. So
Sure. I have a funny newbie story about Uniswap. I've had Uniswap for a long time. And somebody recommended it to me, which was fine. And so I downloaded it. And then I was like, this is a scam. This cannot be real. This looks like a 12-year-old put this website together and is really excited about glitter. Like this was just, it was nothing like what I was expecting something serious and financial to look like. And so I completely discounted it. I have never gone back. I've never actually used it. I've perused it a bit. I've looked through some transactions, but I've never used it. I know it is legitimate, but I have to tell you, I was put off a bit in the beginning because it looked so
thank
like Lisa Frankish. You know what I mean? Lisa Frank from the 90s, who did all the colorful butterflies and unicorns. But I have
Yeah.
nothing against it. I have nothing against it just at that moment. And I was really new to trading. So I had like Coinbase. That's
Hmm.
it. And so I'm looking at
Coinbase and Uniswap.
and Uniswap. And I was like, oh, definitely a scam.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how you get that. I mean, you go to PancakeSwap's main page and it's like this big pancake, and it's like the moon's made of pancakes, and it's like if you didn't know, like, hey, this is a legitimate thing, you'd be like, wow, am I really gonna put thousands of dollars into this? Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Okay. I had to share that. I'm sorry. It's goofy. Shall we move on to wallets? And since this is what you have
Hmm.
to use the DeFi platforms, let's talk about wallets. Wallets, again, on the exchanges, you can connect, you can move things from the exchange to an external wallet, which is what we're talking about. But with the DeFi platforms, you have to have a wallet to connect to be able to make any kind of swap. Um, I don't know. What do you want to say about wallets, Josh?
I mean, we can just list some of the popular ones. There's Trust Wallet, MetaMask, Crypto.com has a DeFi wallet, Coinbase has a wallet. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that one, but go for it anyways if you want to. You've used one called My Ethereum Wallet, and
Mhm.
then we talked about Brave earlier, the Brave browser. They have a wallet as well. Um, and I've used the majority of those. Um, I've used all of them except for the My Ethereum Wallet, which you've used.
Mhm.
And I've honestly, I've not really had any complaints. They functioned very similar to each other. The I can tell you, if you want pure if you want more anonymity, then using something like Trust or MetaMask uh, or maybe the My Ethereum wallet, they don't take any information from you. You just sign up, they give you a password. It's a chain of words, and that's your only proof that that wallet belongs to you. It's your only way to access the wallet. And so there's definitely some separation there if you want more of a DeFi experience. The crypto.com wallet works great, but it connects to your crypto.com account. And so there is a KYC process, but it does give you the ability to use the NFT function that crypto.com has. Like you can store your NFTs on their wallet because it's all connected. And the Coinbase wallet's very similar to that. Connects to your account, and so they know who you are, they know who's using that wallet. But they're solid wallets, they work fine.
Mhm.
They're they're just a little bit they just are one step closer to being a KYC than the other ones are for sure.
True. The thing about Coinbase Wallet that I do appreciate, I've not used yet, but I've certainly looked into it, is they allow you to hold many, many more coins than what they offer on their exchange.
Mhm.
So you can hold coins there that you wouldn't be able to purchase on Coinbase. So that's one way you could access them through Coinbase, I suppose, is
Yeah,
through that wallet. Although it's still not as expansive as I would need, which is why I don't use it. So,
exactly. But I don't really have any positive or negative things to say about the others. Trust and MetaMask are probably the largest wallets that are available,
mhm,
and they are hot wallets, like they're software wallets that reside on your phone or on your computer. So it is. We talked about cold storage when we did our DeFi episode a while back. So they're definitely not cold storage, um, but they're solid platforms. I've used them. I've added my own tokens to them that they haven't had natively listed, and that's been fine. The transfers have gone through fine. So yeah, generally pretty good. Pretty
yep,
good at options.
agreed. We have one more category.
Yeah, these are platforms we do not recommend you use. I think Kim was waiting to see how I would word that because I used harsher language in our notes.
Right. I mean, just to be honest, he said efforts not to use.
Yeah, exactly.
Just putting it out there, Joshua.
Thanks, I appreciate that. But those would be PayPal, Robinhood, and Venmo. And there is one really big reason for that. You can purchase the the crypto that you want there, but you do not actually own it. You are only invested in it. Those platforms, whether it's PayPal, Robinhood, or Venmo, they are actually the ones who own that crypto. So within crypto, there's a pretty commonly held motto that's not your keys, not your crypto. And it's just the essential idea that if you don't have the keys to the wallet, you don't actually own what's in the wallet. And so with PayPal, with those three options, if you go in and you invest $1,000 into Bitcoin, you can't use Bitcoin to transact. You can't send Bitcoin to a different address. The only thing you can do is purchase and sell. So if you're just looking to invest and you already are using those, it could be an option that that you could look into. But it's not the same as actually owning it because let's just say like here's a good example. PayPal will allow you to some degree transact with it. Like you can say, "Hey, I want to send this money to somewhere or pay for this with Bitcoin." However, in the back end when that transaction's made, none of the Bitcoin actually leaves their platform. It just stays there and they send fiat currency to wherever you were transacting with. And so the cryptocurrency never actually leaves their ecosystem. And so in my mind, what they're doing is they're using your money to build their crypto wallets. And I'm not a fan of that. I don't
Mm.
I'm a big fan of decentralized and having everybody sort of have their own piece, and I don't want these huge conglomerates getting billions or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto with our money.
I couldn't agree more. And honestly, it's just such a simple model with them. I mean, it is a buy, hold, sell. That's all you can do.
Mhm.
I was looking at Venmo. I mean, I use Venmo personally often to send money back and forth from family for dinner or whatever. Um, and I saw on there, I was like, oh, they have a crypto option. Maybe I'll just transfer some crypto. I could do that. No, you can't do that. You can buy it, hold it, and sell it. But on this platform that is made to be able to pay people, you can't transact with it. It makes no sense. It's just, it's something for them. And I guess I'm not invested enough in their company to want to invest in crypto for them.
Yeah, I would agree. I would also say, I would also probably put Cash App in that same category. I've just never used it. So I don't know what it's like. I do know they have a crypto option, but I don't know what it's like. So
Same.
pretty much
I've never used it.
anywhere, like I've also used a platform called Webull, and I would say it's very similar. Like you, if you're going to invest in crypto because you believe in cryptocurrency being a thing that's usable and not just something to invest in, you want to make sure that you're investing somewhere where you control that crypto, not where they're in control of it.
Solid advice, Joshua.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. I think that about wraps it up.
It does. I think it was a bit, a bit long. Like, I mean, there's a lot in there. There's so many options. We could probably talk about this for weeks, but I think that's a pretty good rundown of like what we've used, why we like it, why we don't like it, ones you should definitely stay away from, and you know, maybe one of these platforms, maybe Uphold, will hear that we love um, their newsletter, and we know they're connected in the spirit, and maybe they'll be our first paid sponsor. Who knows?
Uphold, are you listening? Oh, just kidding. We do love them though.
Yeah.
They're great. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. Join us again on Thursday. Until then, I have no words today. Until then, have a great day.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening. Join us every Monday and Thursday as we discuss trading on earth as it is in heaven. If you want to connect further, follow us on social media at market.mystics for Instagram and TikTok, and search for Market Mystics on YouTube and Facebook. If you still need more, follow the link on Facebook to book a coaching appointment. Until next time, see ya.